It is WSMESM Enlightenment Radio. You're listening to the Street Confinement Podcast. Comes at you Sundays right here on WSMESM Enlightenment Radio. I am the great Doc P. I'm sitting here with the mastermind of the podcast, Street Confinement's very own Mr. Bud Mensch in the house. What's going on, brother?
Yo, my intentions is just to be informative, get back into promoting the independent artists. I also want to be a little more than just news. Want to be I'm at entertainment. I want to bring news. So that's what I want to bring to the culture. Bring topics that that we don't really talk about too much in our community.
And also anywhere that you can find podcasts, Street Confinement is there, baby. It is global. It's a worldwide thing. So, you know, I know we've launched a podcast, and you know, in this particular episode, I really just want to give folks a little bit of history on the whole Street Confinement brand and what it is that's all about, and also, you know, to get into a little bit of the history of that, and also the history of Mr. Bud Mensch, because I mean, you are the one that's bringing the podcast version of this whole thing to life, and you're doing it in a very personal way, you know. And I mean, hey, you know, it's an example that a lot of people need to follow, you know, when you believe in a concept and you believe in yourself, you know what I'm saying, to just you know, don't give up on it and just go ahead on and make it happen. So, you know, first things first, what I really want to get into, Bud, is how it is that I mean, Street Confinement was a magazine, okay, and it still is a magazine.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep. And when,
yeah,
so approximately when did the whole magazine start? And how did you become a part of that?
Okay, the whole magazine started from Faraz Khan. People know him as Peoples, and him and his friends was trying to be rappers, and they needed promotion. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna give y'all some promotion. But what he did was a newsletter, and he did like a little type 2-page, 3-page, couple of pages, and he interviewed him, just give him some promotion, and it helped him out, but it was cost efficient per page, you know, when you're trying to do newsletters. So he was looking for other ways. And how I personally got involved in it, I was doing an event because, you know, sometimes I'm a promoter of different things and help clubs out. My friends was in town from the Junior Mafia. My man Cheek Delvac, close friend of me, he was in the club, and he came in and he was like, yo, man, who's that? I was like, yo, that's Cheek from the Junior Mafia. And he's like, what? So, yo, he ran home, got his recorder, came back, did an interview with him. And I was like, yo, thanks. You know, he's like, yo, thank you. I'm doing this magazine. And he put out his very first issue was with Craig G from Hot 93. And Cheek was featured in that magazine. So that's how I got involved. And I just took it from there. And then clubs, I said, you know, I let them know whenever you need me, call me. I'll help you out with your magazine. Because I know a lot of the clubs, a lot of the promoters, and he wanted to get in clubs. He called me, oh, I saw this artist in town, and I would call the promoter because I had a relationship with the promoters, you know. And he was like, yo, I want to get in and see, can I interview them or take some pictures? No problem. I'll get on the horn. Yo, so and so. Yo, my man got a magazine. He just want to come in, take some pictures, might get an interview. Yo, by them knowing me, okay, buddy, come through. Yeah, so, and then I'll come through with them, let them take the pictures. That's all I was involved in, just getting them in the clubs. They do the pictures, they do all this work, They do the interviews. So everybody has had a position. All I did was get them in the clubs, introduce them to promoters, and then after the magazine was out, I bring them back. I go to the club and I give them to the promoters. Like, look, see, here you go. And then it just took off. Promoters, oh, they calling me now. And they like, yo, man, we got so and so coming. Can you all come through? I said, yeah, no problem.
Now we did sit
And
down.
then we took it from there.
Yep. So now we did sit down with Peoples, and we discussed a little bit of how it was that he got into this whole thing. We're gonna show a piece of that right here. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for having us on board. My name is Peoples. I used to be the editor of the magazine. We used to promote local talent in multiple states: Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Atlanta, Georgia. Wherever the journey took us, we were part of that ride. We just jumped in the car and we took off and we went to go handle business, wherever we were needed. Whether it's taking pictures in clubs, it was doing interviews with up and coming artists, people that were already established. We were never shy. We just jumped in the car and we just rolled out wherever we had to go. It was an amazing journey.
What motivated you to get into this?
So I had some friends that used to make music, and I used to always go to their shows, and I never saw any fans. I just saw other artists performing for other artists, and it was just like, who's gonna recognize you? Who's gonna see you? You gotta be in front of people. You gotta be able to promote your music. Other people gotta hear it. Like if you're performing for other artists, and the other artist is not gonna go out and buy your music, unless if it's like a mutual thing, like, hey, I'll support you, you support me type of thing. You need fans. Fans are the ones that are going to buy your music. They're going to buy your merchandise, and they're going to put money in your pocket so you can go ahead and do bigger and better things. So what we did is, like, obviously you go to the radio station. The radio station at the time, there was two. We had 104.1 and what was it, 105.3? And then the other one was 93.7. But nobody was showing any love to the local artists. Nobody was playing anybody's music. So I would run into people, or even my own friends, they would be like, oh, I'm working on my third album. I was like, your third album? I never even heard your first album or the second album. You got to promote it. Like, what are you doing to promote it? So we ended up going down to Tyco, down right there in downtown New Haven. And I remember in the beginning, if you saw the first issue, it was all black and white. There was no color, no gloss. It looked very basic, it looked very simple because at the beginning, we didn't have a big budget. So I would go to, any person that I knew that did graphic design, anybody that took pictures, anybody that was an established writer or knew how to write. They all wanted big money. And I used to ask them, I said, where's your work? Like, it's not like you have a portfolio that you can show me, but you're asking me to pay you $50 a page to design it, or $100 per article, or $200 to go out for the night to take pictures of an event. So we had to do everything in-house, to cut costs and be able to put out the issue, because in the beginning, we didn't have a legit printer. We went to Tyco. We were paying $2 an issue. And imagine it, I think we started with the first run was like 1,000 issues. That's $2,000, and then on top of that, if you were to pay somebody to do your graphic designing, your taking pictures, doing your articles, your budget would be like $5,000-$6,000 easy. So the only thing I could control was actual, buying a camera, going out and taking pictures, writing the articles myself, and going up, open up Microsoft Publisher to be able to do graphic design it. And if you look at the first issue, it was very basic, very bland, but we were able to get the name out there, and I was able to put my friends out there to promote their music. And the response that we got was amazing. So, it's like, I needed my fix. I needed to put out the second issue. And I came back like Pookie. And we did the second run. And we met more people through the second time. And we got more calls. And it was just like a snowball effect. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the thing that motivated me after that, because at that point, a lot of my friends stopped making music, but I was able to meet other people like through this magazine that were just as hungry as I was, but with a different craft. They were doing music, I was doing the magazine, and we just motivated each other and we pushed each other. Whenever they had something going on, they would call us and tell us to go out there. Whenever we had something going on, or if we ever found out anything, they would call. We would call them and let them know, hey, you can come over here and help us. They would help us with the magazine, and at the same time, it would give them another platform to be able to get in front of people that were able to make a difference or give them the platform that they needed to get to the next level.
Nice.
I think, buddy, was it with the second issue or was it the third issue that we ran into each other?
Yo, we met each other on the second issue when I was doing the Junior Mafia at the club. You came in and I told you it was some Junior Mafia right there. And you were like, what? Hold up. I'm going to get my recorder. And we was at the club.
Jack, a blue? I think it was
blue, something like that. Right?
Yeah.
You flew home and got your recorder, and I let you meet the members of the Junior Mafia, Biggie crew. And then after that, you said, I'm going to come out with an issue.
You know what's crazy, though? Because at that point, though, I was just doing interviews with people that I was familiar with, people that I've run into, people that I hung out with, like friends. And then when you put me in that situation where I had to go do the interview with somebody that was with Biggie, Junior Mafia, was it Vic? Vic, I forgot his last name.
With Chico DeVecco. With Chico.
Yeah. So imagine, like the history that this man had and, like, his background. And I didn't have a lot of knowledge, like, as far as to be able to just do an interview with him right there. I didn't prepare. I didn't do any research. And, it's a lot different when you have other. I know, but like it's different because they have their crew around and, like, the pressure is on you. It's like imagine going on stage for the first time if you're an artist, or like, I can't explain that feeling. And it was crazy, but you only get better and better with time and experience.
Yeah. And then after that, like I said, you told me you're coming out the issue. About a month or two later, I walk in the gas station, and I think that cover was Craig G.
Yeah.
And they was in that issue, and I said, oh, he really put it out. And I called you and thanked you, and then you were like, yo, let's meet up now. And then we just started running from there. My brother from another mother.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead. People tell your stories you were telling me the other day.
Yeah,
Some of the people you met.
Okay, so in the beginning, in the first mainstream artist, not a mainstream artist, but one of the biggest names that I did an interview with after Chico was we wanted to get somebody from Connecticut that had a name, that had a buzz, that everybody was familiar with. So this way, if we did an interview with him, he would show the love and we could reciprocate it back to him. And, as far as like print issue. So we reached out to Craig G. We got the interview with him, and that was up in Hartford. We actually drove. It was me, Belex, and Breeze. We drove up to Hartford, and we were doing an interview with Craig G. Everything was good. It was in a hotel room, I think. And as we were leaving, my friend that drove that night, he ended up losing his key inside the car. So we got locked out of the car over there, and he was so angry, so upset, because we're in Hartford. We're trying to figure out how to get back home, and we're waiting for the tow truck driver. This guy dropped his phone, broke his screen, and I don't want to age myself, but back then those were the flip phones, before we had the LCD, and before Steve Jobs hooked us up with these beautiful things that we're holding in our hand and all this new technology. Eventually, long story short, we ended up making it home, and we put out the issue. He shouted us out on the radio station. He showed us love every time we went into the clubs, and the rest was history as far as like the doors that were open from there. Another good story, we went to go do an interview with Papoose. Shout out to Keith from Diamond Records. He hooked us up with the Papoose interview. We drove up to Justin's. On the whole ride, we were talking to him and his people, and these are the beginning stages, the beginning days of the magazine. So we had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. We had to learn, crawl before we walk and walk before we ran type of situation. So we go up to juniors. We reach out to Papoose, like, hey, we're here, just to touch base, see where he's at. Oh, I'm running 20 minutes late. I'll be there shortly. All right, 20 minutes goes by, 45 minutes goes by. And my friends are pressuring me like, hey, call him, but at the same time, we didn't know that fine line that you had, a person that's higher up on the totem pole, you got to tread lightly. You can't be ruffling any feathers. You can't you don't want to upset him because we needed him because he had a bigger platform to help us with our platform type thing. So I reached out to him. Oh yeah, I'm running 20 minutes late. 20 minutes late. Long story short, it ended up being 3 hours, and we're doing an interview with the person. And you got to pay your dues in the beginning, and not everybody understands that concept. And eventually, we fixed that situation.
You got the interview though. You got the interview.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Like you got to go through the beginning. Because we didn't have a name. We were still new, and he just won the underground mixtape artist of the year at Justo's award show. So he had a bigger buzz, and he was on the radio station 97.1. You got to pay your dues. You got to be humble in the beginning. You should be even more humble when you make it because you've been through all the trials and tribulations. You know what it feels like. So, but not everybody understands that unless if you're in the struggle, you're in the grind. In the beginning, we had some rough patches, and you just learn from your mistakes and learn from the experiences, and you just get better. That's all you can do is just get better and get better and get better. And that's what every issue we try to show growth as far as like whether it's the smallest little thing to the biggest thing. We were trying to get our issues in more places, so we had to edit a lot of things before in the beginning. If you look at some of those issues, it was just an open world. Do whatever you got to say whatever you got to say. We posted pictures. We didn't know any better, until like people made recommendations, and through those recommendations, you have to be open to constructive criticism. Anything that you do where you're promoting yourself or putting yourself out there, you have to be open to constructive criticism, and you have to learn from those mistakes. And we did, and we just kept getting better and better.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, it was something, and like I said, the role I played is like getting in all the clubs. By me being a promoter, I was able to touch bases with a lot of people. So whenever artists would come into New Haven area, I would get us media passes to go in, take pictures, might get an interview, might not, but we're going to just put in that work. And one of the key places that was always doing shows was Toes. And I went and met with Brian and Holly, and everybody up there just showed me love, and they saw what we was doing, and they was like, yo, so-and-so coming in town. I know about the bookings way before they made them public. So I let the team know to make sure they was free. So they able to come there, meet me there with the pictures, the cameras, whatever, so we can cover the event. And everyone that ever been at Toast, we was on stage, we was here. Nas show, Wu-Tang show was the craziest. Everybody that's in the game.
Shout out to Ron, the main guy down there in front of the door. Remember, he was the gatekeeper. Yep. He always showed love.
Yep.
Angelo, shout out to Angelo.
Yep. All of them out there just showed us love when we came, and we met promoters, and we had different ideals for different covers. So, like I said, when we started doing the magazine, everything come to dollars and cents, and people was the one handling that, and the money that was coming in from little advertisement, he handled all that very beautiful, and made sure the magazines come out. How many issues we put out again?
5 years consistently, never missed a month. We might have been a couple days late, but we never missed a month.
So Bud, tell me, I know that there are more people that also were involved, all right, because I know that B Lex had stopped through, and we spoke to him as well.
Yeah, I miss it. Honestly, I miss the whole thing. Like, in the last 10 years, I've been getting involvement in other things, found other hobbies, expanding into other venues. But one thing I always miss doing the Street Confinement magazine. And like I said, when everybody has the same goal and you find only like a few people who can rock with you and follow the same pattern and hungry as you are, it's like I said, it's a gift, man. You become a force to be reckoned with. And
Yo,
honestly, at the end of the day, we found certain individuals that pushed it to another level and pushed us further than I would ever expected it to be. And then little by little, you picked up scragglers, during the way who had the same like-minded and
yo,
wanted to proceed pushing it and pushing it and pushing it to the point that it blew my mind, and understanding got to meet artists and meet other people that I only saw on TV. I only saw it in nighttime media, you know what I'm saying? Like MTV Nights or any of that stuff. And then seeing them in person and got to talk to them, would never in a million years would I ever expect that.
Now he was also another partner in this, or someone that was
what it was he was one of the original founders of the magazine. And
okay.
them two, like I said, I came in later. This their thing. I just came in
Right.
later because of what I know, how I move around the city in these clubs, and it was them.
Right.
It was a few more of them, but there's a few more of them. They was all young when they started. They all from North Haven, and they all went to school together. And a couple of them were trying to be rappers, but they didn't know how to promote themselves. And that's when people picked up the ball and said, "Yo, I'm gonna do this for you
Nice.
guys," and that's how Street Confinement was built. Help the independent artists. We're gonna get back into that when we start interviewing the artists. But right now, I'm focusing just on the news part, the commentary, just telling what's good, just filling it out, and talk about New Haven. Then we're gonna go global. You ever look at that show where Grandmaster Flash talked about the get down? Grandmaster Flash said it. Before you do anything, you gotta conquer your block.
Mhm.
Then you conquer the area. Then you conquer the borough. Then you go global. So I'm kind of taking Master Flash advice.
Nice.
I'm working slow at it.
Okay. Well,
I'm
hey,
working slow. Then I'm going.
it's definitely something that's up and going, up and running. And it is the Street Confinement Podcast. Comes at you every Sunday right here on WSME SM Enlightenment Radio, and also will be available on all podcast platforms, and as well as let the folks know your website where they can catch you.
Yeah, they could catch my website, www.bmg.ning.com. That's www.bmg.ning.com.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited to be a part of the project, and want to thank everybody out there for giving us an air for a couple of minutes. And hey, make sure that you check back in with us next week for another episode of the Street Confinement Podcast right here on WSME SM Enlightenment Radio.
Yeah,